Charlie's money never made sense. You watched this show for 12 years, and not once did you stop and ask how a guy who writes cat food commercials owns a $20 million beach house in Malibu. Think about Charlie's life. The Mercedes, the piano, the booze, the gambling. A new woman every week. Now think about the job. A jingle writer makes maybe 100 grand a year on a good year. Charlie spends that in a weekend. He hasn't written a new song in years. He says it himself. He's living on old paychecks. Those paychecks do not buy a beach house. They do not cover Alan living rent-free for 12 years. So where's the money coming from? The show never tells you. Because the show can't tell you. Theory 1 of 17. And this is the tame one. And Charlie isn't the only one in that house with a story that doesn't add up. Alan is the real villain of this show. You felt sorry for Alan for 12 years. The pushover, the loser, the brother nobody respected. Look at what Alan actually pulled off. He lived in a Malibu beach house for 12 years. He never paid $1 in rent. Charlie dies. A normal person ends up on the street. Alan finds a grieving billionaire crying on the porch and moves him in the same day. Walden buys the house. Alan stays. Walden tries to sell. Alan blocks it. Walden gets remarried. Alan is still there. He ran a Ponzi scheme on his own friends. He stole jewelry from his ex-wife. He once bribed his son to like the new stepfather just to stop paying child support. That is not a victim. That is a man who figured out looking pathetic is the perfect disguise. And the people Alan needed close, he made sure they could never leave. Jake is not Alan's son. He's Charlie's. Watch Jake grow up across 12 seasons. He starts as Alan's kid. By the end, he is a carbon copy of Charlie. Same lazy charm. Same way with women, same booze. Same blank stare when responsibility shows up. Now think about Judith. She hated Alan. She said sex with him was a chore. Charlie was always around. The two of them argued like ex-lovers from day one. In the finale, Charlie sends Jake a check for 250 grand. He sends Alan nothing. He sends Evelyn a death threat. Jake gets the inheritance. Charlie does not pay strangers that kind of money. He pays family. And once you start asking who is really related to who in this house, the whole bloodline falls apart. The Harper bloodline is quietly broken. The Harper family tree looks normal on the surface. It is not. Start with Gloria. Charlie spends one Christmas night with her. Days later, Evelyn mentions Gloria might be his half-sister. Her husband had an affair years ago. Charlie just slept with his own sister. Then there is Millie, Judith's second daughter. The show drops a line that Alan and Judith were together one last time, right before Judith got with Herb. Nobody knows whose kid Millie actually is. Charlie also got engaged to his future stepsister, Courtney. He proposed at his own mother's wedding. The only reason it ended is because Courtney got arrested for fraud. This family does not date outside the gene pool. They marry the next person at the table. And the man who started this whole bloodline, he chose death over staying in it. Frank Harper killed himself to escape Evelyn. Charlie and Alan's father is barely mentioned across 12 seasons. The reason matters. Frank Harper died from food poisoning. He ate a piece of fish that had been sitting in a kitchen drawer for 2 months. 2 months in a drawer. Charlie says it out loud. His father knew the fish was there. He ate it anyway. That is not an accident. That is a man picking the fastest way out of his own house. Now look at the name. Frank's full name was Francis Charles Harper. His son is Charles Francis Harper. Same letters mirrored. The father killed himself to escape Evelyn. The son got named after him backwards and spent his whole life chasing women who looked just like the woman his father died to get away from. That woman ran through 6 husbands. 5 of them did not survive her. Quick thing before we go further. If you have made it this far, you are the person these videos are made for. Hit subscribe. It is free. It takes 1 second, and it tells me to keep digging into stuff like this. That is it. Back to the Harpers. Evelyn Harper is a black widow. Evelyn Harper has been married 6 times. 5 of those husbands are dead. The first one ate the fish in the drawer. The third one passed away. Teddy Leopold turned out to be a con artist who died hours into the marriage. The 5th one got hit by falling construction. Number 6 lasted the longest. Most of him. Each time a husband dies, Evelyn gets richer. She inherits the house, the money, the business. She never seems shaken. She walks out of every funeral looking better than she walked in. Her own sons call her Satan. Her grandkids avoid her. The men who marry her keep ending up underground. This is not bad luck. This is a pattern. And she did not just take husbands. She took something from her sons too. Evelyn broke her own sons on purpose. Charlie and Alan are not just unlucky with women. They are damaged. The damage has one source. Evelyn raised both sons with 0 warmth. She told Alan he was an accident. 2 pitchers of margaritas and a gas station mistake. She forgot Charlie's birthday. She showed up only when she needed money. Now look at what her sons turned into. Charlie cannot trust a single woman. He uses them, drinks through them, throws them out before sunrise. Alan begs every woman to love him. He apologizes for breathing. These are not 2 random men. These are the same wound, split 2 ways. One brother attacks before he can be left, the other clings before he can be left. And Charlie spent his whole adult life dating one woman over and over. The same woman. Charlie spent his whole life dating his mother. Season 4. Charlie meets a woman named Lydia. Real estate agent. Sharp dresser. Cold attitude. Mean to her own kids. Within minutes, every person in the house notices the same thing. Alan notices. Berta notices. Jake notices. Even Rose notices. Lydia is Evelyn. Same job. Same outfit. Same cruelty. Same way of speaking to her own children. Charlie is the only person in the room who cannot see it. He keeps dating her. He keeps coming back. Berta quits in disgust. Charlie sneaks around just to keep seeing this woman. That is not a coincidence. That is a man who never escaped his mother. He just kept finding new versions of her and calling it love. And the woman who haunted Charlie the most? She was not even a real woman. Rose is not a woman. She is Charlie's drinking problem. Try something. Watch any Rose scene. Replace her name with the word bottle. Charlie tries to push the bottle away. The bottle keeps coming back. The bottle ruins every healthy relationship he tries to have. With Mia, with Chelsea. The bottle waits on the deck. The bottle climbs through the window at night. The show suddenly makes perfect sense. Charlie cannot quit her. He goes to Europe to clear his head and dies on the trip. In real life, the most dangerous part of heavy drinking is suddenly stopping. People die during withdrawal. They die on trains. After Charlie dies, Rose disappears. The drinking dies with him. The show told you it was a love story. It was an addiction story dressed up to make you laugh. And the place where it all happened, that beach house, was never just a house. The beach house is built on cursed ground. Jake said it out loud in one of the early seasons. He looked around and said the place felt like it was built on an angry woman's burial ground. The line was a joke. Look at what happens in that house, and the joke gets harder to laugh at. Every woman who walks into this house loses her mind. Rose becomes a kidnapper. Chelsea becomes obsessive. Judith stays furious for 12 straight years. Evelyn was already broken, and the house made it worse. The men in the house, they keep going. They drink, they joke, they survive. The women crack. That is not a sitcom pattern. That is a haunting. Something in the walls of that house only goes after one half of the people who live there. And the woman who cracked the hardest? She kidnapped a man and held him for 4 years. Rose faked everything in the finale. The finale is built on Rose's word. Just her word. Nothing else. Rose walks in and tells everyone Charlie is alive. She says she kept him in a basement for 4 years. She says he escaped. She says he is now mailing death threats. Look at who actually got money in that finale. Jenny got a check. Old girlfriends got checks. Berta got a check. Jake got 250 grand. The only people who got death threats? The 3 people Rose hated most. Charlie did not send those threats. Rose did. She faked them to scare them into hiding, so nobody would go looking for the man she still had locked up. The piano at the end? That was for show. Charlie was never coming home. And what Rose did to Charlie in that basement is the darkest thing this show played as a joke. The show hid a crime under a cartoon. The finale tells you what really happened to Charlie. The show tells it as a cartoon. Bright colors, silly voices. A goat falls in front of a train. The audience laughs. Now read what is actually being described. A woman pushes a man in front of a train. She fakes his death. She drugs him. She drags him across an ocean. She locks him in a basement for 4 years. Rose says it casually like a vacation story. Everyone nods. Berta pours another drink. The laugh track plays. This is kidnapping. This is captivity. This is years of abuse drawn in cartoon shape so nobody had to feel it. The show could not show what really happened. So it drew it for kids. And we laughed. And the man who built that finale? He wanted you to laugh at something even darker. The finale was Chuck Lorre's public revenge. The man who created this show ended it by killing his own star on screen. In 2011, Charlie Sheen called Chuck Lorre every name in the book. He mocked his real name. He mocked his religion. He used the word winning like a weapon. CBS fired Sheen. The show kept going. 4 years later, Lorre wrote the finale. A man who looks like Charlie walks up to the beach house. A piano falls from the sky and crushes him. The camera pulls back. Chuck Lorre is sitting in a director's chair. He says one word, winning. Then a piano falls on Lorre too. This is not a finale. This is a 4-year-old wound, healed in public, on national television. And after that ending, fans started asking the real question. What if Charlie was never real to begin with? Charlie's ghost confirmed he went to hell. This one is not a fan theory. The show said it out loud. Season 9. Alan is in the hospital after a heart attack. He sees Charlie's ghost. The ghost is played by Kathy Bates. Charlie tells Alan where he is. He says he is in hell. He says God turned him into an old, heavy woman. He has to live like that forever. Alan thinks his brother is joking. He is not. The show wrote Charlie into hell, on screen, in dialogue, with a famous actress hired to play him as a punishment. Think back to every theory before this one. The dating his mother, the drinking, The mother who killed her own husbands. Charlie did not earn heaven. The writers knew it. They sent him where he belonged. And if Charlie went to hell, what about the brother he left behind? Alan is stuck in purgatory. Charlie went to hell on screen. Look at where Alan ended up. 12 years. Alan never gets a break. Every woman leaves him. Every job collapses. His son ignores him. His mother humiliates him. His brother dies. The new guy in the house adopts a child without him. A normal person breaks under that much loss. Alan does not. He keeps showing up, keeps smiling, keeps trying, because he is not allowed to leave. Every time he could stand up to Charlie, to Judith, to Evelyn, Alan folds. Right before the lesson. Right before the door opens. This is not a sitcom. This is a man trapped in the same loop until he learns what he never learned. The show ended before he got out, but the strangest part of Alan's story is not what happened to him. It is what was sitting next to him the whole time. Walden was never a friend. He was a replacement. The day after Charlie dies, a billionaire walks up to the beach house in tears, while Alan is scattering Charlie's ashes. Within a day, this man buys the house and asks Alan to stay. That does not happen in real life. That happens in a brain that needs it to. Look at Walden. He arrives the moment Charlie disappears. He looks nothing like Charlie, but he plays the same role. Rich, generous. Lets Alan live for free. Lets Alan never grow up. By the end, Walden literally marries Alan, two grown men in suits calling themselves a couple. This is not a friendship. This is the same support system wearing a new face. And once you ask who is really there for Alan, you have to ask if anyone ever was. Alan invented Charlie. The whole show happened in Alan's head. Now go back. Look at every theory we just covered. They only work one way. Charlie's money never made sense because Charlie never had to earn it. He was a fantasy. Alan lived in a beach house for 12 years and paid nothing because the house was always Alan's. Charlie was the brother Alan invented to feel like a guest in his own life. Jake looked like Charlie because Jake is Alan's son. The Charlie traits were the parts of himself Alan wished he had. Berta is not a maid. She is a caretaker, the kind hospitals send to a man who lives alone. Rose is the addiction Alan has been hiding. Evelyn is the mother who broke him. Frank is the father who picked death over staying. Charlie dies. A billionaire walks in the same day and takes his place. Because Alan's mind needed a new brother. So it built one. The man you watched for 12 years was not real. He was the only friend a broken man could imagine. And when Charlie went to hell at the end, that was Alan finally letting him go. 2.5 men. There was only ever one. 17 theories, all sitting inside a show you thought was just a comedy. Now think about this. If Charlie was never real, who was Alan really talking to for 12 years? And if Charlie was real, whose voice is Alan still hearing? Drop your answer in the comments. The one that changes my mind gets pinned. Go back to the pilot. Watch the first scene Charlie walks into. This time, watch Alan's face. You will not unsee it.